Out of all these four contests, which is the easiest to win? None is easy is not an answer. None of the above is not an answer. Which is the easiest to win? Think and tell me. Table topic, because he was participating there. He is biased. Think about it. Somebody commented after my speech about this. I know you can guess the answer because I am speaking, I am standing here and I am speaking. You know what I am going to say. But do you have any other thoughts? Which competition or which contest might be the easiest to win? Is it ISC? ISC, no. You have to hear ISC speeches. Those are the life lessons of the participant. Whatever that participant has learned through life for 30, 40 years, that he is conveying within 5 minutes. It won't come every year. Once in a lifetime. That is not at all easy. Table topic and evaluation contest. Why I am still calling, they are not so easy as humorous speech. Any guesses?
Impromptu. Because you have to speak impromptu.
Because it is impromptu. It has an aspect of luck. What topic you will get as a table topic master, what kind of a test speaker you will get, that has an aspect of luck. Lot of luck involved and small amount of, and then after club contest, area contest, division contest and 4 contest or district level contest, most of us will run out of luck. Isn't it? It won't be easy to be lucky 4 times. Okay, so viewers one can relate to that. I like your speech that it was different. So humorous speech is the only contest which if you want to attempt to win at district level, you can win. And what you need is something that I will cover. I will cover 5 rules today. 5 rules which has worked for me. Now what happens? I went to the contest, I won something and then everybody started asking, hey, tell me your formula. Otherwise there was no formula at all. I had a speech, I had a delivery and I won. There was no formula. But since now it is being asked for me to do an educational session, I thought back, what might be my formula? And I saw that there are some emerging trends that I collected. I listened to earlier humorous speech winners also. Some points I could connect, some points I could not connect. The ones that relate to me, I will just share with you. If it connects to you, take it or just leave it. Enjoy half an hour, be relaxed, and then go ahead. Now, let me give you a brief introduction of what I talked about in my winning speech, so that I will be able to connect the formulas to that winning speech. My title of my winning speech was The Spirit of Movement. It was about traveling in a Mumbai local train. How many of you have traveled in the local trains? Okay, good. Even if you have not traveled in local train, after my speech you will be able to relate what it might be an experience if you are traveling in a local train. Okay. The Spirit of Mumbai was the title. The way it was arranged was like this. It was some initial beginning. Then the main section had aspects of crowd in the local train. Second was sweat. You will be sweating because Mumbai is very humid. Aspects of humidity. Third was getting in and out of the train, how it is difficult. Fourth aspect was about seating arrangement. Typically there are only 3 seats and 4 people squeezed in the space and they sit. And all this was delivered in the humorous. And finally there was a conclusion and a message. This was the overall speech. Now let us start with what are the rules for winning the humorous speech and how it related to my winning speech. The first rule, rule 1, is content is the king. Why I am saying content is the king? Lot of people, there is a difference of opinion. Some people say delivery, how you deliver a humorous speech makes a difference. My personal feeling is content is a king. Why? Any guesses? You have to just see the judging ballot for a humorous speech. This is the ballot that the judges filled. In ballot has 3 parts: content, delivery and language. You know how much percentage is allocated for content in humorous speech? Anybody knows? 55%. 55% weightage for content. That's why content is a 50. Now that is a very generic statement. How I can form a rule out of that? Make your content sexy. I know that I am not allowed to speak about 3 taboo topics, so it is not about that. It is SECC, sexy. 1 upon thought C is sexy. So S stands for situation. So first thing is you have to identify a topic. So you have to identify situations which you can turn into a humorous speech. That is the first S. Find some humorous situation in which you can convert into a speech. E stands for exaggeration. Any small minute thing you always exaggerate if you want to give a humorous speech. Don't tell a lie. There is a difference between lie and exaggeration. Okay. My kid, elder kid always says, Papa, when you come home, mommy complains about us and she adds her own masala. That is exaggeration. Okay. If he has broken a small bottle, she will say, Bitna bada. So that is an exaggeration. So always exaggerate your speech. I will give few examples later on. Next C is the context. See, humorous speech is not a stand-up comedy. There is a story, there is a context, and you have to generate humor as a part of that context. Mumbai local train, there is a lot of opportunity context to generate that humor. So you have to connect your humor to context. And fourth C is connect. Connect to the audience to whom you are speaking. If I had delivered my Mumbai local train speech in Arabic country, nobody could have related to that. They don't know. I was delivering in Goa, in front of crowd which was predominantly Mumbai, Pune and Goa. They all related to my speech. Connect to the audience is the fourth. So this is the sexy content. Okay. There is one more part to the content. That is, you should have a degree in MBE to make that sexy content. Now what is the MBE degree? M stands for message, B stands for beginning, E stands for ending. Your speech should have a very strong message. It should have a very impactful, interesting, humorous beginning, and it should have an impactful ending. Now why message? A lot of people tell me that message is not required if you are delivering a humorous speech. May not be required. You just have to make the audience laugh. My take is a bit different. And then message is very important, mandatory for ISC, International Speech. But why I am saying message is also important for the humorous speech. If you go through this judging criteria, by the way, this all has happened retrospect. Yeah, I have not gone through. I didn't create a formula of message aana chahiye and all. That was not the case. But if you go through the content, it says speech development. The speech is structured around the purpose. Effectiveness. Did the speech relate directly to that purpose? Speech value. The speaker has a responsibility to say something meaningful and original to the audience. So every criteria in that content section is related to message. And what was my message in the speech? It was a part of the title. I started with the title on Spirit of Mumbai. I talked about local train and generated humor through lots of incidences in the local train. At the end, I talked about the tragedy of bomb blast in Mumbai local train and how it affected me personally. But later, next day when I boarded the train, again it was running in its full capacity, as if nothing has happened. And that for me was the message personally, that there is a spirit of Mumbai, that in spite of all the hardships, we still come back and live our life. So message was very important. Beginning and ending. You start with the word go, even your beginning should be really generating some humor. Now audience initially will take some time to warm up. They will start immediately smiling, laughing. Okay. But if you have that humorous beginning, no, they have warmed up. Now they are ready. They have opened up slightly. My beginning was, so I had to think about the humorous beginning. It was not going easy because there was a lot of statistics. So I began with saying that scientists believe that 17 species can sleep while standing. I wish I could take these scientists to the Mumbai local train so that they can see for themselves that even human beings can sleep while standing. Now nobody laughed, but there was a subtle giggle amongst the audience. Okay. Ending, as I said, ending was impactful with the message. Okay. One of the best things I have learned, and even some movie directors practice this, if you can connect the ending to the beginning, that is like an icing on the cake. How many of you have watched movie Kanta? Movie Kahani? You see some good movies. End scene, end 15 minutes is related to the beginning 10 minutes. If you can achieve that, that will be an icing on the cake. Okay. First rule, make your content sexy. Have a MBE in doing that. Rule number 2. Rule number 2 is पहले आप AAP आप. What is आप? आप is what is आप? I am not going to talk about the 3 taboo topics: sex, politics, and religion. So it is not related to politics. Okay. A stands for anecdotes. Anecdotes are short stories. A stands for analogies, comparison, metaphors, similarity, simile. P stands for punchlines. Again, this is a part of content only, but this you have to be conscious about. You always use some short stories to make your speech relatable. And if you can make your stories related to yourself, your own experiences, nothing like it. When I talk about Mumbai local trains, I talked about my own experience. You won't, one of the punchlines which generated the huge amount of laughter was, I talked about the Mumbai crowds. Okay. There is a lot of crowd, people are surrounding you, you are squeezed between the people. So I created that context. And then said, you will be able to count the buttons on your shirt, not by seeing those, but by the feel of the pressure that they exert on your body. I have experienced this, and that's why I was able to tell this with emotions. Okay, and people were able to relate it, they laughed at this line. So that is the short stories in related context. Analogies. You have to compare something, your situation, with something else, which will generate a humor. I use one line when you get inside the train and get out of the train, you are basically carried by the crowd, which is going to get down at the station. So I use an analogy that in that crowd, while getting down of the train, you will feel as if you are a tiny little matchstick being carried by a flow of the river. So people were able to visualize. That is the analogy. P is the punchlines. One punchline is now you have to generate your own punchlines. Okay? You have a situation, you have a story to tell. How you convert that into a funny punchline or a tagline? Punchline should be funny as well as it should be intelligent. If there is an intelligent joke, audience mind or brain will get activated. They will want to listen to it. So one of the punchlines that I used was related to seat sharing. I said there is a lot of people sitting and then 3-seater and then 4 people occupy that place. Now if you get a 4th seat, I said you will be lucky if you can establish a surface contact with the seat. Because most of the time you will have to be contented with just a line contact. And the audience erupted in laughter. I added one more punchline. I guess the phrase living on the edge has its origin in the Mumbai local train. That generated the most amount of punchlines. So that's the up part, rule number 2. Rule number 3, delivery. Deliver with these 3 ingredients, bhel, vada pav and pani puri. So that audience are happy. Bhel stands for body language, vada pav stands for vocal variety, pani puri stands for pauses and punches. Again. Now this is a part of delivery. Body language, vocal variety and not pani puri, pauses and punches. Now you people have been in those school masters. This is my weak part. I should admit that. Nikhil was there. He will be able to add to that. So this is my weaker part. I am not good at body language or vocal variety. As I said, for me, content work. This is a delivery part which carries 30% of weightage. I have to practice a lot of body language. Now, body language tips and tricks anyway you will get as a part of Toastmaster journey. So I won't talk much about it. But the kind of body language I used was related to, like when you are in local train, if somebody's foot falls on your foot, you have to bear that pain. So I have to show that through a facial expression. That okay, that pain you have to bear. Then when you are standing, you are continuously standing like a statue. So such simple body languages. So if you are not good at it, practice it. Repeat it so that it gets ingrained in your subconscious. So that was body language. Vocal variety, again, only best practice about vocal variety is to carry your emotions in your voice. And that can happen only if you believe in your own story. Whatever you are saying, if you believe, you feel that will automatically come in your voice. Pauses and punches. Punches I covered in the content part, but pause is very important. Pause. Whenever you are delivering your punchline, the line which has to generate the humor, pause is of utmost importance. Typically, a punchline or the line which generates a joke, it comes with you raise a climax, you pause, and then you say an anti-climax. Or sometimes it is an anti-climax, everything is a tragedy, you pause and you say a climax. For example, my first speech was about myself, my own introduction. So I made fun of my own name. My name itself can generate one full speech. So I know that my name is Majnoo. So I said about my relationship or love affair with my girlfriends during the college times. Okay, and then I slogged to the college to prove myself. I want to prove myself to the world, and then I kind of came first in the university. So I raised the climax. Then I said, the girl whom I love, by the way, is happily married to me. That was an anti-climax. And the guy whom she married is standing in front of you. In that sense, I have lived up to my name. Now that generated a laugh. Okay, so that is how you can raise the pauses. Climax, pause, delivery, punchline. Or anti-climax, pause, punchline. So this is the rule number 3. Okay, delivery. These 3 rules are related to content and the background or the do's, what you need to do. Now let me tell you the rule number 4 is prepare well. Preparations. What are the preparations? So what formula works for me in terms of preparations? As I said, you have to think what situation or a topic you can convert into a speech. Then write a few bullet points on what you can talk about. Don't worry about humor, jokes, anything. Situation itself, you have thought that it will generate. Then have your write-up of the speech. Initial draft. That might take about 1 week of time. Draft and then redraft and all that. Okay. Then 1 more week of time you will need to practice, and as you are practicing, you will be able to understand which lines are making more sense, which lines are not making more sense, where you need to add a humor, where you can do something else. So 1 week for practice, and the final week for the final practice and the delivery. In the final week, your only aim is to be able to deliver the speech within the stipulated time and fine tune your humors. That is the prepared part. So nothing much to talk about here. The last rule, final rule is don't arouse your audience. So some people might be thinking, okay, you are saying make the content sexy and still you are saying don't arouse the audience. So this arouse stands for these are don'ts. Okay. Don't apologize. A is for apology. Don't go and say, oh, today I am not prepared well, so let me try out. That's not required. You are supposed to be prepared and go there and just nobody knows what's happening. Okay. So don't apologize for anything. Or when you are on stage, you should appear confident and you should be confident. Don't rush through your speech. Lot of times, the humorous speech contestant, they themselves kill their jokes because they don't give time for the audience to laugh. That was what was happening with me. Mukta, my mentor, had to work on me a lot to avoid this rushing. I had to write in my speech that this is pause, here you have to stop. So you don't rush through your speech. O is for don't offend your audience. No jokes on audience. It's not a stand-up comedy where you have to just make fun of somebody and generate humor. Don't ever offend your audience. Best way to not offend the audience is offend yourself. Have self-deprecating humor. Nobody gets offended. And people laugh out loud in such situations. Okay? Don't offend anybody, you can offend yourself. UJ stands for don't use jokes. I have heard this joke and let me tell you one joke and then. Again, it is not a humorous speech is not a connection of 4 jokes and then you deliver a 5 minutes speech. It is a context, it is a story that you are saying, and within that context you are generating humor. You need not search for don't go on Google and search for a joke. Okay? It won't work. So don't do all this. Do not arouse your audience. With all this, now you will be well prepared. So I talked about 5 rules. Okay. With all this, now you will be well prepared to go there and deliver your speech. Though the competition is fierce, yeah, but it is a level playing field where everybody can participate and has a chance to do it. I wanted to do this first and say that okay, I have done my work, never yet please, I have done this. Now I realize I missed it. Now finally, having said all this, finally what matters, how you can generate humorous speech and participate and still leave your mark, is you should have an attitude for humor as a person. You should yourself have some insight, some attitude for humor. And attitude for humor may be sounding difficult, but very simple rule is you should take yourself lightly. I asked my shirt, it's not looking good. Take yourself lightly, that's okay. You should have an attitude for humor and take yourself lightly. Life is a tragedy for those who take it seriously and a comedy for those who do not. Today morning I had fights with my wife, but I didn't know I have 2 important things to do. So still throughout the day I did not lose my jolly mindset. Okay. So please develop that attitude for humor by taking yourself lightly, and soon you will start to see a lot of situations where humor is there. Any small situations. Okay? There will be lots of humor. Finally, after doing all this, if you follow these 5 best practices, I am sure 100% if you can do this and deliver your speech, you will win. I know there are 5 contestants, not all 5 of them can win. Okay. You will win. You have to be there. I mean, Nikhil can relate to me if you be there on the stage. Okay. You are giving your 5 to 7 minute speech. The entire hall of 400 plus audiences erupts in laughter for your punchlines and your contextual humor. For at least 5 to 7 minutes, you have made them forget their daily pains and they are there to laugh to your story. That for me is a profit that you will surely do. You had to hear the speech given by Katani was there. He said initially when he was winning the area level contest, district level contest, he was always, oh, the trophy is so small. The glass, right? He used to call it glass. The glass is only this big. The glass is only this big. But once he won the international speech competition, ISC Global Championship, he said he realized the glass was not the reward. The reward was sitting in front of him. The entire hall erupting in laughter, that was his reward. He realized that later. And he understood that I am able to influence so many people with my story and make them laugh. That was the reward for me. And for me also, on the day when I gave the speech and people laughed, and that happened to every speaker, I felt so contented from inside, from within. I was so relaxed. Though there was a heavy chance of me winning the competition, I said, whatever it is, okay, I have won. By the way, I follow one mantra in my life. It is there in Bhagavad Gita also, but I will take you in English because it is Toastmaster, I can't use Sanskrit. Do the best and leave the rest. That is the attitude that I follow. You should be contented that you have given 100% to what you wanted to do. Rest whether you get a reward or not, that is important. With that, I would like to end my speech again with a quote by Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin says that if you can take your pain and you will be able to play with it, then you can really create more. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Can we take a couple of questions?
Okay, yes. So I hold on for questions. So this was my formula, please.
How did you choose the topic? You said that it was your own experience, but we have so many experiences across our lives. So how did you rank on this specific one?
Good question. And I missed that part in my speech. So I have put some probable topics, speech topics. Okay. What can be topics which can generate humor always? Can somebody give me some guesses? What can be topics that will typically generate humor? I have listed those. What can be the topics that can typically generate humor? It can be personal experience or your own attitude towards something, perspective towards something. What are the topics? Spouse relationship. I gave one speech in my club, not for contest. I called that speech title was Constitution for Marriage. We have a constitution for country. I created a constitution for marriage. And I had written that speech such sarcastically that I want to give all my responsibilities to my wife. I want to not have any power. So that generated a law. So spouse relationship. What else? Office is the great place to generate humor. Even now, when I am in office, I am at a very senior position. But when I go to the meetings, okay, by the way, I am planning my next, the contest is coming, so I am planning my speech. So one topic came to me, office related. So there is a lot of time what happens is in the test lab, we are mechanical engineers. In the test lab, something fails. Some component failed, some shaft failed. And then there is a very serious meeting that happens. One person from test lab, one person from manufacturing, one person from engineering, one person from simulation. They are very serious, damn serious. And they are there for the meeting just to prove that I am not a culprit. So my speech title will be "No one killed Jessica." Not Jessica, but some component in my life. Office topics are relevant in office. I am also thinking of one topic on boss. So I call my wife as my second wife and my boss as my father-in-law, my second wife. So I am going to give a speech on my second father-in-law. What else? What topics? There are some other topics also.
Everyday challenges.
Everyday challenges. I'll give you a specific to that. Men in kitchen. That can be a very humorous topic. You can think of it. For women, what should I say? Okay. So you accepted that. I had written that here. But I said, no, there will be some feminist and they say, oh, not allowed. Okay, good. Woman by time. What else? Any embarrassing moment that you have faced in life. Any embarrassment which you can share with others. That can be a humorous topic. I have a lot of embarrassing moments. Some cannot be even shared. Some can be shared with some censorship, some beeps. And then travel. If you are traveling, you can get a lot of topics because you meet a lot of different types of people. You will be able to generate topics out of that. And then all these are real, non-fictional, but you can have some fictional topic also. Any other questions? Last one. Last. Any question? Any suggestion, addition? This. Done? Okay. Thank you very much. Shall I pass on to?